charge of strategy and innovation at Lane. So when you think about all the events that Lane actually organizes with and meets, with Lantern, the program we have for internship prep and other sessions that we host, my team is actually in charge of that. I am joined by Chooks, who is actually in charge of Lane webinars. He's somewhere, but he's going to come on soon. He's somewhere, but yeah, he's on now. So I'm joined by Chooks. So we're going to anchor this session together. So Chooks is an ally of women in business and women in MBA. Same as Samuel, who is actually the CEO and founder of Lane. So Samuel, do you want to just quickly go through a bit introduction about Lane before we just jump into the panel session? Samuel, is he still here? Samuel.
Oh, yeah. I just realized I was on mute. Hi, everyone. Good evening to you. Good morning and good afternoon to you, wherever it is that you good evening to you, wherever it is that you are. My name is Samuel, and I'm a member of Lane. Pretty much excited to see the impact that we're making in this community. And I would on Techno's Facebook or Instagram page. Okay. So Lane is basically a community of MBA students, enthusiasts, and alumni who are looking to leverage the MBA program for a more democratically and economically inclusive Africa. And the reason why we do what we do is we're trying to create a community that maybe not right now, but later in the future would be able to play their bits and pieces of roles in making sure that at some point in time we take back our continent. And that's a lot of work to do, but it often starts by empowering people. So right now, what we're trying to do is just focus on increasing Africa's representation in global MBA programs. We feel that the more leaders we can create, the better positioned we are to take advantage of any opportunity, and the better positioned we are to make sure that when decisions are being made, they're made in the interest of the continent. Our vision is very simple. It is to build an economically and politically inclusive Africa that is self-perpetuating. Economic and political inclusiveness means that anyone and every African can rise as high as they want without being impeded by circumstances and environment that have been perpetuated by oppressive leaders. And we can only do this if we can equip young Africans like us to identify, support, and execute practical ventures that continue to drive us towards that direction. So if you're a member of us, you would know that there are 5 aims and objectives that we're trying to do. The very key one is empowering young Africans by supporting 1,000 Africans into top 150 global MBA programs in 7 years. The way we do that is connecting them to opportunities and knowledge base that are often esoteric to many people or oblivious to many people because of certain mentality or because of certain access or inaccessibility to certain resources that are often too expensive for many people to get. The second one is strengthening the existing communal connection amongst African MBA students by connecting majority of African MBA business clubs across top 200 MBA programs in 5 years. And we believe that the more connected we are as a continent across diverse MBA programs, the louder our voice can get and the more strategic we can get in getting business schools to make decisions in our favor. The third aim is to be a catalyst for Africa's financial independence by providing qualified African MBA groups of people access to a network of recruiters, incubation programs that ensure the regular source of income. And not only that, one thing you will say a lot about the Indians is they're very able to support their own. There are pools of funds to cover expenses. I know before you guys joined Olamide and there was a chat about how dollar is a lot now expensive. The guys who are funding Prodigy Finance are not Africans. So as much as they're doing a lot, they cannot understand your particular situation. But think of an African pool of fund supporting African MBA students. The second one is just making sure that MBA education recognize the talent here and do more to get them. And lastly, just ensuring that there's that continual pipeline of promising MBA applicants by partnering with African institutions. Think about the magic that we would have done if there were institutions, organization that was, educating us about the possibility of MBA programs even from our second, first, and third year in school. So that's a lot that we are doing right there. And there's a lot of people. Olamide is one of them. I can go on and on about people who are taking bits and pieces of this and making it even bigger than what we've dreamed of. Without any further ado, I'm excited about this. I think that the society needs to do a lot more in ensuring that there is equal access to opportunity and education for the female role. And I'm happy that this is happening because then my three sisters can also have equal access to opportunities that are wonderful and ensuring that their future is secured. So I've said a lot packed in there. If you would like to be a part of our dream, please feel free to join. Franklin will share the link below. And now you get into the gist of today. That's a lot, but hopefully you got one or two things out of that.
Thank you very much, Samuel. I was going to clap for you, but I think I would have been alone. But anyways, thank you so much. I see Tyra is clapping because it was one of those type of speeches that will enter your heart and you're like, yes, we can do this. So thank you very much. Oh, see, Precious, like people were even clapping. I wasn't alone. So thank you very much. So to start, I would like our panelists to actually introduce themselves. So we can start from Tayo, we'll move to Doi, and then we'll move to Abimbola. So please introduce yourself to tell us your MBA program that you got admitted to and a brief overview about your pre-MBA background.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Omotayo Adewe. You can call me Tayo. I got admitted to Chicago Booth School of Business for the 2022 class. So I'm resuming by September. Pre-MBA, I am currently, for the next few days, an associate at an investment bank in Lagos, Nigeria, where I've worked for over 3 years. I studied industrial chemistry, top of my class, and I graduated in 2013. But after working for a few years with startups, for a few months with startups, I decided to just move into finance. So I started working for PwC as an auditor, and I was there for about 3 years before I moved to the investment bank, where I currently work now. I'm also a CFA level 3 candidate as well. Yeah, nice to meet you guys.
Hey. Yay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Tayo. How are you doing?
Hi, everyone. My name is Adedoyin Wole. I'm a 2023 MBA candidate at the Terry College of Business, University of Georgia. Prior to my MBA dream and process, I've been working in the commercial banking industry for the past 9 years. I studied actuarial science for my undergrad, and I also have an MSc in finance and investment from the University of Leeds. I've been married for the past 7 years, and we are blessed with 2 beautiful children who will be embarking on this MBA journey together. So I'm so happy to be here. I'm excited. I'm a proud Lena. Some years ago, some months ago, I was on the other side, soaking up all the webinars I could I could manage, and I'm happy that it's all paid off, and we are here today. So I'm excited to be here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Adedoyin. We're super, super excited to have you here. Abimbola.
Hello.
Hi,
Hello?
Abimbola. You went off, so we
Hello,
can
you hear me?
Yes, we
can. You hear me? You can hear me. Okay, good.
Yes.
Don't worry, I'll fix it up.
Okay, fantastic.
Let me just start. My name is Abimbola Orekoya. I am an incoming MBA candidate at WP Carey School of Business. That's Arizona University. I prior to my MBA, I work with a broadcasting firm here in Lagos, a federal government owned at that, and have been involved in dishing out programs, trying to educate people, trying to create awareness about different things happening in our community, in our nation, and in Africa at large. And my MBA, okay, so aside that, I'm married with one kid, had my MSc in agricultural economics, had my degree also in agricultural economics, and I feel next step is to have an MBA. So I think that's all about me.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Abimbola. Thank you very much, our panelists. So I think it's time for us to actually jump in. So Chooks, do you want to start?
Sure, absolutely. Hi, our panelists once again. Nice to meet you all. I think my first question to the panelists is, when and why did you decide to pursue an MBA? And the follow-on question is, how is the MBA helping you achieve your goals as a woman? Anyone could respond to the question.
I can go first. Well, I think it was really in December 2019. I got passed up for a promotion, so it was quite painful, and that was like 3 years waiting for that particular promotion. So I was like, no, I don't see like a career projection where I am. I felt like I needed something more, to be honest. I just felt like I wasn't, I was being taken for granted, kind of. I always thought I was going to do a PhD, but after, a deep inspection and speaking with a lot of people, thinking about what I really wanted to do post-MBA, I decided that, okay, an MBA would be better for me. So I guess what really made me decide to do an MBA was the fact that there was no career projection in what I was doing at the time. And I didn't see a way out except improving on my current status and getting more knowledge and more skills for what I wanted to pivot into.
Yeah, I can go next. Can I go next? So very similar to Doyi's story as well. I first heard about an MBA for the first time in 2016 when I was at PwC. I think I heard about it through the Stanford Africa Fellowship thing, and I tried my luck, but I wasn't really being very serious. So when I didn't get it, I just abandoned it. And then I was working on the CFA program at the time as well. So I just kind of left it on the back burner. I'll share more about how the gap between 2016 and when I finally started in another question about relationships. But basically, it was in 2019, I think about November, that I got very serious with GMAT and essays and all that. And then my wife is very similar to doing Zone as well. I've been out of school. Oh, okay. Sorry. I graduated from school about more than 7 years ago, and I've just been working. My background is in chemistry, is in science. So I've always felt like I needed a business degree somehow. Every time I go and apply for a job, I always feel like I'm lacking something. Even though I have the CFA, I'm working on the CFA anyway. So that's one. But another thing was that I got to a point in my career where I felt like I've learned everything I needed to learn. I can't do financial models. I can't do etc. What's next? What's next, to do? And then almost every other job I was trying to apply for asked me for a master's. I'm like, okay, I'm more qualified. The number of years of experience I have, I think is more than what I need for a master's degree. So I said just do an MBA. So that was why I pursued it then. Thank you.
Okay, sorry, I think I need to go next. Yeah, right.
Absolutely.
All right, sorry, I've not been able to fix this thing.
Of course.
what made me go for my MBA, so I had MSc already, and I think it was at a time I wrote an English professional exam. Initially, I didn't even believe in myself. So I wrote the exams and I passed. And, afterwards, I was moved to the next to the next role in my place of work. And after working for a while, I just felt I needed more. I can be more. I can do more, I just felt I needed more. So I went for a project management course at then. And after the project management course, I wasn't really cool with myself because I just felt I am just I'm just short. I'm just beyond the normal grade I needed to be. So I had to, liaise with some of my friends who are into the MBA. Well, I knew they were into MBA, but I just felt, this is not what I can do. Probably this is not for a woman. This is just for men alone. They are all guys. So I just felt, no, I can't do this. And one of them just walked up to me and said, Bimbola, you can do it. I was like, I hope you know I'm a woman, for crying out. I have a family. Maybe my husband will do it. No, not me. I don't think I can do that. I think it's stressful. But it just convinced me, told me, see, if you know you want to move to the next level in your life, in your career, this is the next thing you need to do. This is the next phase you need to move into. And that was it for me. I got introduced into Lane, and that was just the best support group I could ever be. I was able to navigate. I was able to talk to different set of people, not withholding anything back. My background, I was able to open up with, this is my background, this is where I'm coming from. I hope I'm welcomed. I hope I can be accepted in an MBA school. And, why not? Diversity is what we need here, all those things. And, I moved with so many people, related with so many people, and here I am today. So it's very possible. And that is my why.
Thank you so much to our panelists. Those are very good responses. I mean, the quest for more is always strong, and for many of us that have embarked on this journey, so just wanting to do more with your life could be a good motivation to want to pursue the MBA. I think my next question is, how has getting an MBA or considering an MBA affected other areas of your life, like your relationships, parenting, etc.? Anyone can go first.
Okay. I think I'm going to start. I'm the only single panelist. Hi. So I'm going to tell you guys a story. So the funny thing is, as I said, I heard about MBA in 2016. A number of my friends also went for the MBAs. But the thing is that in 2018, I actually started working on my GMAT seriously. But there was a challenge. I was dating someone. And the person was living in Texas. And all the schools I wanted to go to, they were either in California or New York. And we're talking about it, who will move where? And the guy was like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not, I'm not moving anywhere. So literally, and there was, the schools I wanted to go to are not in Texas. So I just kind of kept the dream, to one side. But the truth is that I delayed to for applying for my MBA actually because I was single. I kind of felt like I couldn't do it without a support system. Instead of leaving Nigeria, leaving my family, my friends behind to go to a foreign country where I didn't know anyone, it just scared me. And then also this thought that the MBA program is a 2-year program. I was single when I was applying, and I was like, okay, most likely I'll probably not find anyone. Very funny story. Probably not find anyone throughout the MBA program. So like, how old am I now? Don't be single for that 2 years. I'm not joking. So I actually delayed applying for an MBA. I was hoping that I'll find someone and get married, and then I'll go for. But then even then, there's also a challenge of when I get married, will I relocate and leave my husband? Will he relocate? Anyway, the point is that considering an MBA actually affected my love life in a way. And then I've also been working on the CFA. If you do the CFA, you know that when you're working on the CFA, Usually don't have a life. I don't go for weddings. My weekends are spent studying. When I added the GMAT to it, typically I wake up by like 3 a.m. and read for maybe 2 hours before work. I started waking up by 1 a.m. to do GMAT for 2 hours and then CFA for another 2 hours. So basically, I had no dating life. And then there was COVID. I'm not going to lie to you. Even 2020, I almost did not apply. I was like, I cannot do this, God. I don't want to be single. Yeah. So that's a very funny story. But I actually got to a point. I got to a point in 2020 where I was like, you know what? I can't keep, because I was looking at something in the future that was not here yet. The guy was not coming, nothing was happening. Okay, what I have now, what I can control my ability to study, I can control my application process. I decided to focus on what I could control, which was myself. And you can see I'm engaged now. So just move on with your dreams and just, chase what you want to do. Don't let relationships. If you're single and you're looking at God, when just apply. Who knows? Maybe they could be in school, they could be abroad.
Yes.
End of story.
Tayo, you can tell us after. You can come back to tell people, because I don't think people believe it, but I think we can.
Yeah. Okay, no problem.
Okay, let me go next. For me, well, it was during the thick of COVID, so it's kind of helped a bit. We were not really going out anyway. But the only issue I had was that my baby was like 6 months, as at when I started preparing for my GRE. So it was kind of tough. It was quite challenging. But for the relationship aspect, I think the first thing, immediately I decided that I wanted to do an MBA. I had to communicate with my spouse, we both have masters. And one of my fears was, it would be like, why are you doing MBA when you already have masters? Why don't you look at this and look at that? But communication is very important. If there's anybody married there and is trying to, do the same thing. And he wasn't interested in moving to the US anyway. So that was one issue that I had. I was like, oh, we are going to be, for like minimum of 2 years, we are going to be living in different time zones and all that. But, we kind of reached a solution, a conclusion on how we are going to navigate that. And during the, preparation for the GRE, it was quite tough, combining work with childcare, because that was when my nanny decided to, bail on me. So it wasn't a funny experience, but like Tayo said, I just had to prioritize. Then I had to, put in more hours, getting back from work like around 7:30, 8 p.m. I'll be like, I had like a strict timetable for everything, There's a time for the kids to eat. There's like a 1 hour slot for us to do family things together, play and all that, put them to bed. Then, you read and prepare for the GRE and all that. So it was a challenging time, but with the support of your family, your spouse, your kids, it's something that you can do. Yeah, you're going to put in more effort, put in the work. Like I remember when I was preparing for my interviews and all that, I intentionally slotted my interviews like in the midnight so that everybody would be sleeping and I will have enough time to, prepare, and there won't be background noise and all that. Then when it's time for webinars, I'll just give my children like a treat or something to keep them quiet and let them just stay where they are. So you can do it. It's absolutely possible. Is it tough? Yes, it is. If it's something you really want, then you can do it. Thank you.
Okay, so for me, when I wanted to start this journey, I think I started in 2019. I knew it's not something I can study on my own. So I went for a coaching class. Number one, the coaching class is a bit far from where I live. So that was just number one barrier. Let me put it that way. Number one barrier. So that means I would have to drive sometimes an hour, or let me say 1.5 hours before getting to my center. And I could only do that just for 2 days. That's during weekends. So after the class, I couldn't just get it as well, did the GRE preparation test, and it wasn't just it. I had to, get another coach, someone that would, tutor me, like a, how do they call it now, a private tutor, to, teach me and coach me for the exams. And before that time, while I was, preparing for all these tests and exams, international exams, I already discussed all this with my spouse. Number one, I'm not a strong woman. I am not a superwoman. I cannot I cannot do this and, do the home front or just be doing both together. No, I can't do that. So we knew we needed a support, and we had to get a living maid. So that maid would take care of my child, we'll go and pick up my child, would make sure he's fine. That is just make sure this boy is okay. He's not looking for mommy up and down. And when I have interviews, I have webinars, all I do is lock my door. So if anybody is knocking, somebody is trying to open the door, you can't even reach me at all. I'll just, I just needed that concentration, I just needed something, a face-to-face. Let me just know my why. Why do I want to do this? I just want to sit down and have some deep sense of thoughts and just, do away with all these cares of this life, cares of family, cares of this, cares of that, something, So that was one of the basic things that really helped me. It was one of the basic things and I think for everyone who is married, it's not as if it's not possible. It is very possible. One, you need a support from groups, people who will support you, support your vision, support your goals and objectives. You need a family who will support you as well. You need a spouse who sees your goals and objectives and is not contradicting, is not saying, as a wife, you are the housewife or something, like your role is in the kitchen now. Go and mind things that are in the kitchen. No, if it is just like that, you will not amount to anything. And I realized that my ambition in life is beyond the kitchen, is beyond the family life. I can do more. I can be more. I can be a leader. I see people like Ibukun Awoshika who also had their masters. And they were raising children, they were raising kids. And one was not delaying the other. So it is possible. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Abimbola. Thank you very much, Adidoyin. Thank you very much, Tayo. So the next question that we have is actually about support system. So hearing you already talk about how you had such amazing support system, also backed up by Lane, family, immediate family, friends, people that were actually encouraging you. I think I can skip that one. So the next question we have is more around what type of challenges did you face on your journey? And this is not limited to, it's not limited to your GRE, GMAT, your exam prep. What were certain things that you faced on this journey that you were like, would I have made it? Do you understand? When you look back now, what were certain challenges that you faced on your MBA admissions process? So anybody can start.
So let me start.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm still going to start with the GRE. Okay, so there was a time I was coming from the center. I left center around 5 p.m. and I did not get to my house until 12 a.m. That one was, it was a major, like, I cannot do this. No. This is just out. No, I can't. What happened? There was one stupid hold up in Lagos that held everyone, it was just crazy. It was crazy. I was on one spot for almost complete 4 hours and I had to go to the center the next day. It was really tiring. That's number one. Number two is, along the way, I had issues with my essays. I had issues with my post-MBA goals. I had issues. And all I could do is to just go back to people who had been on this journey and ask again and again. There was a time I was asking one question about 20 times. It got to a time the guy was just angry. What is it, Go? Why are you asking? You go and ask, you ask me this, you ask, what is the problem? I'll just try and say, please, Mabinu, I'm sorry. You just have to help me out. There is no way. I just need your help. There is no way I can do this without just being right. Then I just need to be right. And then there was a time I had to go for essay coaching as well, because it's not as if I am so good in essay writing or I know what to write at that. And I had to pay for it. So sometimes if you need to pay for these coaching classes, your essay writing, you want your essay writing to be good, you want to write it yourself, sometimes you need someone to help you out. And if it's going to be paying for it, then you pay for it to learn how to do all these things. So one of the issues were Lagos hold up. Number two was essay coaching, asking people all over and all over and all over and all over again on how to do this. Number three was also, before I got the issue of getting application fees paid, what I needed to do, I kept on going back and forth to know who I need to talk to, how do I need to get, because I don't have, where do I see $100 to pay? I be $125 for about how many schools? So I need to, go back and forth and ask. So how do I do this? If I write this to this person, is this okay? If I write this to this admission officer, is this okay? Is this fine? Is this okay? And I got help. And you can also get the help. That's just the truth. You can also get help. Thank you.
Okay, guys, let me go next. For the challenges I faced during this process, I think one of it was like self-doubt. I was doubting myself a lot, not because I felt I couldn't do it, but I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be relocating with 2 kids. How's it going to be? Am I going to cope with everybody says the MBA thing is really rigorous and all that. So that was my first challenge. I didn't know I wanted to go through with it, and with the fact that I had kids. Also, work, of course, work was a major challenge for me, because working in a commercial bank, especially in operations, requires a lot of effort and your time. So to be able to combine that with family and reading and everything that comes with the MBA process was a lot. So it took a lot of effort and determination. Also the GRE. The GRE I was advised early though that I should take the GRE instead of the GMAT. That's one of the things I enjoyed on this journey. When I decided, I got a lot of support from people that had already done the MBA and people that were in this process. So I was advised to do the MBA, to do the GRE. I self-studied because in Abuja here, I think there's only maybe two or three lecture centers, and it's during the week. They only do it during the week. So it didn't work for me because I would be in the office at the time. So I had to self-study, but I also got a private tutor. We did the tutoring for like 2 weeks before COVID hit, and she couldn't come again. She was a medical doctor and she had to be on the field and all that. So that was a major challenge. I remember thinking, oh my God, I have a BSc in actuarial science and I have a MSc. It's not like I don't have quantitative background, but this quant is driving me crazy. But thank God, my husband was helping me with maths anyway, with the quant, because he had more. He could do it better. So we were reading the GRE together. We were reading for the GRE together. So the GRE was really challenging. When I entered the exam, I was all nerves. And I think that could have affected my score as well. So GRE was a major challenge. Then my essays as well. I write well, but the essays are not, it's not a matter of writing well, You need to have deep thoughts. You need to know who you are. You need to project what you want to do, why you need the MBA. And I remember turning in my essays maybe the day of the deadline. It was crazy because I had to take my time, and I'll be like, I'm tired, I can't do this thing. Just for essays, maybe I've done every other thing, I started really early. I already completed my profiles, so I'll just be like, okay, essays. Then I'll leave the essays till the last minute because the questions were just really crazy. Who are you? What is your short-term goal and all that? You really had to think about that. So those were my challenges during the process.
Hello. Mine was similar. Was mine actually. So in 2018, I had started applying. Then I saw application fees, $250, $275, and I was complaining that the exchange was a lot. I'm sure 2020 laughing at me. But so that was, I realized I didn't have enough money for applications. I didn't have enough money for the GMAT. And then I had to wait for a year and then actually save. I deliberately made a budget for applying for business school where I put like writing GMAT 3 times. I wrote GMAT 4 times actually. That cost money. I applied to about 7 schools and I didn't get waiver for any of them. So I had to budget for that. So money basically was one challenge that stopped me 1 year, but the next year I'd already prepared for it. And that one was time. So as I said, I'm an investment banker. I at the time I was still preparing for my CFA level 3 exams. At the same time, I was preparing for the GMAT. So typically I wake up, I sleep 5 hours a day, but that period I was sleeping less. So I hired an essay coach and the essay coach ghosted me. Hey God, I had the person in February. He still gives me PTSD. I had the person in February. As of July, I was just hearing wind. What's going on with my essay? I'm coming, I'm working on it. I'm coming. And I paid anyway. So basically by July, I had to start working. I had like a month to work on essays for about 4 or 5 schools. It was not nice. I burnt out. I was not sleeping. I lost weight. Different things happened. So time was one. I would say, plan ahead, plan for contingencies. Thankfully, my CFA was postponed. So I just moved CFA from 2020 to 2021, and I left CFA alone so I could focus on the GMAT. And that thing that I struggled with was essay questions. I don't know about you guys that are already admits, but I hated one question. What do you bring? What are you bringing? Wait, it says, what do you bring? What are you going to contribute to the class? I'm like, what the hell? I'm bringing my school fees. My school fees. I'm bringing my school fees. I'm bringing my time. Hello. Sorry, I'm a bit dramatic. But the point is that I struggle with some essay questions. Like, why are you asking me? And that thing was some questions, some schools like I applied to, and I got admitted to HAS as well. That's Berkeley HAS in California. And that school, their essay questions about 250 words. I'm like, I'm not finished even the introduction. 250 words has finished. So that was a challenge for me as well. Basically, I think that one thing that Abimbola said I really like is support. One thing I learned this period is that if you shout for help, you will get it. And don't be afraid to ask from strangers. I went to LinkedIn and I messaged strangers, and people actually took their time to talk to me and all that. So there are challenges, but they're surmountable.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Abimbola, Omotayo, and also Adidui. So our next question is around funding. We've seen a lot of people asking questions around, did you guys get funding? But I think where we start from is, Tayo already talked about how funding was actually a huge challenge for her applying in a previous year. But tell us what role funding played in your role, like in accepting in your MBA admissions process, accepting an offer as well. And if you felt that you were at an advantage as a woman when it came to your scholarship or funding opportunities that you got in your program. So anyone
Let me go first. Okay. So for funding, it played a major role in in the acceptance of my school. Before this, when I wanted to start this MBA, I knew that I didn't have that money to go and pay one US school, and you know how much the school fees runs into. So funding was a major part of it for me. So I got admitted into about 4 different schools. They all gave me money, actually. Duke gave me money. Vanderbilt gave me 50%. But Georgia gave me full tuition. So now it was a matter of deciding if I'll pick Georgia over Duke and Vanderbilt. Yeah, that one is a story for another day, but yeah, I did pick Georgia. And I stand by my decision. I love it. I have peace of mind about that. And so I just want to say also, as a woman, yes, there's an advantage, because the scholarships I got from Vanderbilt and Duke were actually Forte scholarships. So yeah, and you can also ask the schools. I remember when Vanderbilt first gave me the scholarship, I think it was about 30% and of tuition. And I spoke with them. I'm a woman, an African woman, coming to do this and that. I sold myself and they increased it. So I think there's definitely an advantage as a woman.
Should I go next?
Okay, let me go
Okay,
next.
you can go.
Let me go next. Okay, all right. As for funding, I don't know why Lamide is laughing.
I know what you are going to say. That's why I'm sorry.
There was a time we had one gist on Lane, and we're talking about funding and all. And my friends that I know that are studying, I think most of them got a loan. So initially, before I started, I asked them. I was seeing $100 and something thousand. I was trying to calculate that with my head. I mean, I don't know how much is my salary. Where do I want to see all this money that you guys are? I cannot even convert it to naira. It is like an imaginary fee, Where do I want to get this money from? Are you guys joking? How did you get this kind of money? Still hearing me?
Yes, we can.
Can you still hear me?
Yes,
can you still hear me?
Yes.
Hello?
Can you hear us?
Okay, so I they are hot guys. Yes, I can hear you. They are hot guys, and they kept on encouraging me. You are a lady, you will get money. As in money, they will give you money free of. You are a woman. We are guys. That's why they are just giving us small money. But if you can give us, if you can tell them this is what you have done, they will give you money. Don't worry. They kept on backing me up and all that. And out of about 7 schools, I got 3 schools. I got I think 90% somewhere in rice. I got 75% and gave me full funding, gave me stipend, gave me what's it called? I was like, this is it. But before I could conclude that this is it, I remember that we had a discussion on Lane, and we're trying to argue which school would you go for. Would you prefer to go for a school with just a little bit funding, or you go for a school that won't, that will give you all the... I was trying to argue things out, like I know how this thing is done. Until, the thing just got to me, I'm like, and I was like, will you now leave all the money on the table and go for a school that is giving, and you will start looking for loan up and down? For a family woman, no, you can't. If you are still single, you can still, in fact, you can fully juggle, you can do anything. But for a woman that has a family, you really can't do that. You just have to consider your family. You have to consider a whole lot of things. And you know that if I do well, there's nothing stopping me. It's not like, okay, because you have gone to this school, this one, your standard is low or something. No, it's not that way. It's not seen that way. So you can't leave money on the table. It's not possible. And I learned that from Lane. I learned that you can't able to get all the money that could. If you can tell them that you're an African woman, you did this, you did that, this is what you've been doing, this, they will give you money. And that was just the truth. I remembered for WP Carey, I think the guy he just fell in love with me the first day because it was just the first day. It was just, what did I say? I just told him my background, and it was just on Forte Forum. So as a woman, you need funding. There are some groups you don't just want to joke with. There are some forums that you just know that you need to be in, and then you must be familiar with the women in business groups in the schools that you have chosen. You need to be familiar with them. If you can talk to their president, talk to their president. If you can talk to anyone, get familiar with them. Tell them that this is you're an African woman. This is what you can do. This is what you have been doing. This is, just sell yourself to them, and they will give you what you want.
Yeah. So I think following on that point, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Yeah. Someone made me realize that as a female investment banker from Nigeria, I was a very top diversity candidate. And actually, that essay question that I hated, that was my answer. I kept shouting, I'm bringing, I'm a female investment banker from Lagos, Nigeria. I'm coming to tell you guys how to do business in one challenging environment in the world. That was everything. And I said it everywhere. It was in my essays, it was in my interview, anywhere. Just ask me about your background. I'll mention how I'm suffering, how I'm a female, first to go to school in my generation. So that's one thing. Adivera said it. Identify your unfair advantage and use it. Blow it everywhere. Don't be tired of singing it. That's your national anthem. Memorize it and memorize this thing literally. If you wake up from sleep and say introduce yourself, I'll make sure I tell you that I went to public school. I dropped out of school when I was this age, blah blah blah. So that's there. For me as well, I applied to 4 schools in the United States, top 10 schools, I think. And I got into 2 of them, and I got 50% scholarship from 2 of them. I don't know what I did. I don't think I didn't do anything extra. I did apply for the scholarships separately. They were all merit-based scholarships. But then when they gave me the scholarships, I actually still asked for more money, and I got more money actually from Booth and from Haas. But then I chose Booth because I like color red. I'm joking. So so how did money play a role? Yeah, I already mentioned how that, for a year I had to delay my applications because I did not have the bar. But after a while, I saved up the money and I got it. When it was time to accept admission as well. Okay, I want to say something. I think for me, one thing I did when I was applying for schools was that I did not look at the price tag. That one thing someone always told me. They said, don't consider how much it's going to cost. The money will come. And for me, the money came. I had 50% of tuition, and then I've taken student loans as well, and the rates are very, 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 very low, like compared to Nigerian bank rates. Very, very, very low. And then after school, you work, you pay off your loans. A friend of mine was talking to me. She was like, "This is what I'm talking about. After school, 2-3 years after school, you'll be in a much better position to pay down these loans that look mighty now that you're going in." As as Bimbo said, look at it. When I converted my salary in Nigeria to dollars, I was ashamed to put on the application. But greater glory is coming in the future. Amen. So yeah, that's what I was saying.
Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you very much, guys. To be honest, I think it's really inspiring to hear. And I'm so happy, to be honest. I couldn't have asked for a better set of super women to talk about this because funding is one thing that we get a lot online. A lot of people really, really talk about it. And to be honest, I'm getting so many DMs. I'm not sure why they're not posting on the chats, but I'm getting people saying that thanks for this insight. This is amazing. Like everybody is really excited. And I think it's just very important as well. And it comes both ways, right? Even if you don't get full scholarship, you have the heart. As a woman, I deserve it. You guys have the money, I'm coming for it. So I think that mindset is also very, very important as well. Once you figure out what your story is, I think Abimbola and Tayo also touched on that point as well. Understanding what your unique disadvantages. I'm sorry I had to say that again. And how, because that's really what makes you stand out, right? You can't be everybody. You've done your bit in your community, you have everything and you deserve it. Like you deserve a seat at the table with that money. So the next question that we have, I know that this is gonna, so the next question that we have is around, do you think more women should pursue an MBA to contribute in their environment? And also based on your experience, have you seen more women? Like some of you talked about how you were networking. Did you see as many women to be able to reach out to help you on this journey? And if you did not, do you really think that more women need to actually go for their MBA or go to business school? Anyone can start.
Definitely.
Yeah.
One saying that I like to repeat after a lot is representation matters a lot. You don't know how important it is for someone looking at you as a Nigerian in a top school in the US. So everywhere I get the opportunity, I always make sure I, represent, do for the culture, do for the people that are coming behind. I personally do not have anyone in my immediate circle. Like when I mean my close friends or family that had gone for an MBA in the United States, actually. It was always extended people I knew from work or I saw on LinkedIn. So for me, it was very, very important for me that I needed to succeed in the process so that at least I become that person for my friends, I become that person for my family. So yeah, definitely. And another thing about it is that an MBA is typically the springboard for top level positions, C-suite positions. And because even statistics show that about 40%, just now actually, the next 10 years, they're having business school get about 40% of their class being women. So definitely beyond even women, I think African women especially, where women are primarily homemakers here in Africa, the challenges of leaving their families is very overwhelming. They don't bother going at all. So I think women definitely should go. And when I was looking for advice, I actually found more men. There were a few, I think maybe about 2 or 3 women. That's how small they were. There were more men, more Nigerian, African men that really helped. But I think I met one lady at Lagos Business School and then one that went to Chicago both, and that was it. So definitely more women should do that.
Okay, so let me comment on that. I think we need more women. We really need more, and more needs to know about this. I want to believe that there are a whole lot of women out there who want more for themselves, who love to be in the leadership position, who love to, because we are hardworking women. Here in Nigeria, or let me say in Africa generally, we are hard workers. Not that, even look at the, sorry, I don't want to use the words illiterate, people who are less educated. See how, educated women. We are hard workers. We want more for our families. We want more as human beings. We want to do more. We want to be at the top positions, and we still want to carry our families along. So I think we need more women. When I started this journey, so unfortunate, people who were encouraging me were guys, they were men that were trying to push me. And in fact, I was resisting push and they were pushing me more. Because I felt I was not enough, one. I felt it is not possible. I have families to cater for. But they see the leader in me. They see what I can't see in myself. Maybe I should put it that way. They see that this person is an hard worker. She can be more than this. So we need more women who will be at the forefront. I used an example of Ibukwa Awoshika. And you cannot say because of your spouse or something. Once you know that your spouse is understanding, then that should go along, because it will benefit both of you at the end of the day. Look at Ibukwa. We all know our husband's name as Awoshika. There was a day she said, I'm not even using my father's surname. Nobody knows our father's surname, or I don't know. Everybody knows our husband bears the Awoshika. So look at how she's just, putting up the glory of her husband and impacting our generation, impacting other people's lives. So I think we need more women, especially in Nigeria, on this journey. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. Like Tayo and Bimbo have said, yes, we need more women. If you feel like you need to do more, and if you feel like you are like in your comfort zone and you want to break out of it, and an MBA is going to help you do that, then you should absolutely do that. That is why it is important to have a house that supports you. Before you even get into the marriage stuff, you should look at this traits, because there will come a time that you probably want to do more, and you will need the support of that spouse. So I think we need more women. Yeah, for me, when I started this process, I got a lot of support from women, actually, because my own case was peculiar and I wanted to know what how moms were coping in business school. I reached out to a lot of women. What I noticed with the men was that they were married, but the story did not really, I couldn't really relate with the stories because the guys were married, their wives were like the homemakers and, you know, they could take care of the kids. So I was looking for women that had my similar story. It wasn't easy for me to find. Maybe I only found like one or two because essentially I'm going to be like a single mom since my husband is not going with me. But most of them had their husbands with them, like Black Americans, you know, they were living with their husbands. So but they still helped me, you know. They were ready to listen, they were ready to support me. Some were even like, okay, daycare, nannies and all that. So I got a lot of support. There's even one story that stands out to me, like for my Vanderbilt interview, the second year student that interviewed me, very spectacular. I've never seen that kind of interview before. It was like a discussion. She was happy about it. She was like, you know what, I want you to come to Vanderbilt. You know, she was really helpful. And even after the interview, we've been speaking. So I think the thing is just reach out. Some will be busy. Not everybody will answer you, but some would definitely answer you. Definitely, as I'm going into business school, I want to, you know, give back. So I'm one of the people that will answer you. So just reach out and make connections, network. We are always there to help. People are there to answer your questions. And even though you may have a unique, you know, circumstance, you still meet people that will be able to answer some of your questions. So just take the first step and reach out.
Thank you very much, Abimbola Adedoyin and Omotayo. To be honest, it's really inspiring because a lot of people, and yes, like Tayo was talking about being single before, but I think a lot of mothers and a lot of, like, everyone is going to get married at some point. So what happens to your career next? And I think that's a question that we avoid in our environment a lot, especially when it comes to women. I think on the forte session, a couple of us attended yesterday. The woman was talking about how she was actually Nigerian. I think the Liberty Mutual lady was talking about how some of her mentees who were women would say that they would pass up positions as women because they were thinking about their family. Maybe they want to have children the next few years. So they were worried about promotions. They were worried about certain things. And I think some of the steps, especially starting with your MBA, or even going to business school as well, sort of opens up your mind. So we need more women, to be honest. I don't think that it starts and stops with us. Like, it can't. Like Adedoyin said, like, we want to be able to inspire more and more women, single, married, with children. To be honest, everybody deserves a seat at the table in an MBA, and it's not limited. So, and then some of the issues that a lot of people also had as well in terms of funding. I like that we're having those conversations, because in our environment, we are not good with talking about money, right? Like, we all just smile and say, yes, everything is all right. Do you understand? Like, and yes, seeing people ask questions about this is also very good as well, as much as you might not be willing to be as transparent. But this is an environment where we can talk about issues like this and things that are really, really important. So the next questions that we already talked about challenges, all the challenges you faced and everything. But yes, finally, you have crossed that hurdle. So what are certain things you guys are looking forward to on your business school journey? Like, starting from now, like when you get into school, is it recruitment? Is it getting to meet people, learning in a new environment, exploring? To be honest, there are so many opportunities, but what exactly are you looking forward to on your business school journey?
Okay,
Anyone?
let me go first.
Yeah.
Okay, so as I resume school, I'm looking at, meeting new people, trying to relate with new people, sharing my ideas with them, hearing theirs too, trying to learn more about the business world, learning about my own aspect of business as well, just learning and sharing. And I'm looking forward to working with different set of teams where we would have to bring out the best in one another. Well, I also am looking forward to working with other Black women and look for a way to, recruiting other women, Black women, African women to be specific, telling other women about how they can leverage on their careers, how they can leverage and get more out of themselves. So I'm really looking forward for a whole lot during my MBA process. I mean,
Hello. So I'm very unserious, but I'm looking forward to the nice places I'm going to visit, the new foods. I'm looking forward to living in a skyscraper. I'm looking forward to not working. Like I'm working for many years now. I'm just not working. I'm looking forward to learning, going to school. I like book. I like to read a lot. I like to study. I like to learn. So I'm looking forward to being in that school environment. But most important, I'm looking forward to the foods, the environment, experiencing snow, winter for the first time in my life. That's it. Thank you so much.
Okay, like Tayo said, I'm looking forward to first the change of environment. Let's move away from this Buhari era first.
let's leave this
So
no lights. Let's just leave.
That's my
No
own
lights
first, my
issue.
highlight. Let me have some peace of mind. So the new environment, I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to meeting new people. And I like school anyway, so at least this work. We've already, I've been working for 9 years now. Let me take a break, So I'm looking forward to that. Maybe I'll get to spend more time with my kids. So those are the things I'm looking forward to.
Thank you very much, ladies. To be honest, it's really fun just thinking outside. Okay, you know what? I'm not going to be working, but I'm going to be doing this. I get to meet people. And the whole point of an MBA, to be honest, is networking. Like, so traveling, eating with people, meeting with people, like making teams, making friends. That's the point, because nobody really goes to an MBA without thinking about networking, because they would enforce it on you. Like, I think everybody has mentioned how networking from the beginning, even when we're in the school, even after the school, like it's almost like it's part of the courses. And I know that they also teach like certain courses around those type of things as well, because you are building your personality. Like when you go into the business world, if you're coming from a non-traditional business background, you really, really, really have to know how to talk to people. You'll be able to do coffee chats. You'll be able to walk up to somebody and say, this is who I am. Do you understand? Beyond being an African, but this is what I bring to the table. The same way they were asking Tayo all these questions in the essay prompts. Anyways, before we jump to Q&A, so the last question that we have is, what are certain tips and best practices you would recommend to our panelists in Lane around telling their story as a woman and being authentic? Anyone can start.
I think for me, I would advise that you do like a deep introspection of yourself. Know what you really want to do. Don't, because maybe you know people that are doing MBA, then you decide you want to do an MBA when you might be better suited to something else. So know yourself. And I think also start early, because that kind of helped me. I applied in round 1, and it helps me to get as much.
Please, when
Sorry?
you say you applied round 1, please, can you mention the number of schools you applied to so people just have an idea?
I applied to 9 schools in round 1. Don't mind me. Well,
I'm inspired.
So I applied in round 1. I actually saw, the benefits, like straight from, straight from the start. I already had, maybe by December, I already knew what I was going to do. I already knew where I was going. So I think it's better to start early. Then, you put your best foot forward. Network, research about the schools you want to go to. For me, I wanted them, I wasn't really about them liking me. I was about myself liking them, because I wanted a place where, I'll be comfortable and I won't be, I don't know how to put it anyway, but I wasn't about them liking me. I just wanted to be the one to know this is the school that I really want to go. There was a school I applied to, a top school. And when I told them that I'm a mom and I'm coming with 2 kids, what do you think? What advice do you have for me? The interviewer told me that it's going to be tough. They don't really have a lot of moms in the program. And I just gave that school an X, like, no, this one is not for me. So do a lot of research and get what you really want and go for it. So learn about the school, and also remember, you can do anything you put your heart to. Ask for help, network, and it should be fine.
Okay, I'll just go next. Though you already said gave very valid, very, very important point. I think I totally understand that you need to vary your story to fit the school you're applying to. It's like communication. If you are saying the same thing to someone that is Yoruba, someone that is French, someone that is German, you can say the same thing, but you say it in different ways, right? So, for example, let's say a school, you've seen the way their essay question is crafted. They want to tell a story. One day, a boy was walking on the street and then he hit his leg on the floor and then he woke up and realized that went to. Some schools want to just go very straight to the point. Like Chicago Boat now, they like data. They pride themselves as an analytical school. So you know that for them, your essays they can be too mushy or emotional. While Stanford, they wanted to give them the story, whatever. So the point is that you have one story, you are one person, but when you're applying to different schools, you need to learn how to vary your story in a way that captures the essence of that school, which is why when you said research is very, very important. It's communication. If you don't know what the audience wants to hear, you cannot speak their language. That's the truth. So get the essay questions. And almost all these schools, they actually have the same type of questions. They have the vision questions, they have the goal question, and they have the YMBA question. It's the same thing they're asking in different ways. But the way they ask the question, the way the school expresses its persona, to let you know how to respond to it. I think another thing I'll say as well is women many times we face a lot of imposter syndrome, right? To be funny story, I kind of felt like I was overqualified. I felt like 8 years of experience was too much. I felt like, I don't know what I felt. But the point was that I had to come to a place where I was like, this is me, this is who I am. I want to go to an MBA for an MBA program. Someone has to take me. So however I'm going to do it, that someone can take me, So I say be confident in yourself, be confident in your story. It is your story. Nobody else can say it. Like you will say it. We may all be Nigerians. We may all be Nigerian investment bankers. We may all be Nigerian female CFA level 3 candidates, but we are different. I had to go back into my background. If you read my applications, you see things there about how I grew up. You see things there about when I was in primary school. You see things there about how I had low self-esteem, in secondary school. Like, just think about what makes you unique, and don't be afraid to be vulnerable as well. Like, there's some things in my application. I think for hers, they asked a question about what do you do, something that makes you happy, and I had to talk about how in my family. Sorry. Yeah, I talk about how in my family, we have a genetic.
Sorry, Chinyere. I've been trying to mute the same person, but the person keeps. Sorry about that.
That's fine. Yeah, I had to talk about how, like, in my family, I come from a generation of teachers, and my grandma was a teacher, my mom was a teacher, and that kind of helped me sell the story, my theme, my profile. Of I like to share knowledge. I like talk, I like to teach. But the point is that I had to be vulnerable. So don't be afraid to be vulnerable. Of course, don't share things that are too deep, like your bank account details. But the point is that be vulnerable, show who you are. They want to connect with you. They want to feel like they're talking to a human being. So try and find something that makes you unique. Another thing I want to say, which is very important, and when I learned it, it actually helped me, was that you are a diversity candidate. I think in Nigeria, we should hear it enough. If you are a Nigerian female, you are just being a Nigerian female that wants to go for an MBA, that has worked for a couple of years. Those schools are looking for that. They have a diversity quota to fill. So your job is to remind them every time that you're looking for me. I'm here. I'm also looking for you as well. And I remember when person was at Rotman, and the guy told me, said, Tayo, own it. So there's nothing to be ashamed about, that you're a diversity candidate, and own it and use it to your advantage. So I'll say use that. It's an advantage that we have here as Nigerians. Every single thing you can use to show that you're different from the average MBA student. You want it to show up every time. Bye-bye.
Okay, so I'm the one coming next. I think my women had talked about almost everything. Let me just reiterate some of the things that you need to, some of the tips, just little. I noted down some things here. Number one, don't leave any stone unturned. Just like we have said, do not leave money on the table. Number two, make sure you join groups that will help you. As a woman, Forte MBA, I mean, there is the Forte Forum. Yes, there is Forte Forum.
Yes.
For MBA admission. You just have to be part of it. And the only way you can know about these things is when you join support groups. You need to register. And, as you see the links drop, register, follow up with them. Number two thing I noted here is talk about your background. Talk about your success. Sometimes talk about your failures as well. They want to hear it. Don't think it's all about success. They also fail too. So you need to talk about it. Talk about the challenges that you faced and how you overcome it. Talk about the failures and how you learned, what you learned, what were the lessons you learned. Talk about your background, your generation, what happened, just in little ways. Let them know about it. They just want to know you. They want to know you in total. So let them know about your success too. Let them know. I mean, shine it to their faces. As for me, I have a business, and I was able to train about over 100 women during the COVID period. So on all my essays, it was all over it. I want them to know that I'm a solution provider. I solve people's problems. I want to see people. I want to see lives changed. I want to see women changed. So anything that you've done that you see that it's like a eye flyer for you, put it there. I want to talk about your resume as well. Some of us, we feel okay. Some Nigerian people, there are some companies in Nigeria that knows how to, fine tune resume. You go and give them a resume. They will help you. They will help you put resume for MBA school is different from Nigeria resume. Those things are different. They are different. Tell people about your resume. How can you fine tune don't use the resume that you use for a company. Now come and use it for your MBA without without asking people what can you do to your resume and all that. Make sure you work on your resume as well. Work on your essays as well. All those essays are, most of them they are all similar, just as Omotayo had said, they are all similar. So get a particular, your post-MBA goals, your MBA goals, your why MBA, all those things. Make sure you know them. I think you just need to have a deep sense of, you need to just think deep and, get something out of it and share it with people. Don't feel that if you share this with someone, they would say, no, it is not Kinikon. There is nothing like that. Even if you need to be corrected, you'll be corrected in a very loving way. So that's just it. All you need to do, it's all available on Lane Network. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Abimbola, Omotayo, Adedoyin. To be honest, you guys have said everything. And when you talked about support network, I just remembered, and you mentioned for Forte, right? I remember the first time I met Abimbola was actually on Lane, but the first time I met her, like I was seeing her constantly, was in Forte, because every single Forte room I entered, she was there. Do you understand? And guess what? She was asking for application fee waivers. Like, it was more like, why, beyond getting to know the school? Okay, I don't have money, so do you have application fee waiver for me? Because I see people asking those questions as well. So the truth is that the Lane network has been supportive. I remember that in the early days of Lane, people like Tayo, Obi were always sharing things about GRE, GMAT. Do you understand? Like, it was more like everybody held each other's hands. We didn't have to know each other. And that was the fantastic thing, right? So many people from different countries, Ghana, South Africa, Kenya, we didn't know each other, but we were sharing resources, right? So it wasn't because it was just my own, it was just my own. We got to know about so many things because other people were willing to share. So the idea of this session as well is every single tip that they're sharing is also because somebody has done it and they can pay it forward. So thank you very much, ladies. So I know we had so many questions in the chat section, and you guys have done an amazing job helping us to also answer as well. But I just want to give like 3 people an opportunity to actually come off. Please kindly raise your hands if you have a question. I would only be able to permit like 3 people because I know we've actually gone well over our time, but our session has been amazing. So please kindly raise your hands if you would like to ask our panelists questions that they haven't. Okay, so Adebola, I can see your hands. Kindly come off mute and please ask your question. Adebola.
Hi everyone. Good evening.
Hi.
Thank you very much. All the ladies to Abimbola. No, Adedoyin, Abimbola and Omotayo. Thank you very much. Omotayo, please accept my LinkedIn request. That's first. Then the lady that said she got waivers for everything. That was, I know I tried applying this last what's it called? Last year for 2023 intake. And it was messy because I had work and every other thing. But I did not really look at applying to other, like mixing my schools. I was not careful about that. And then my score was not so great. So yes, I think that's something that I'm going to look out for now. I would try as much as apply to so many other schools and look for application fee waiver. Then another thing I would want to know is your GRE score. At what point did you think that your GRE score was enough for you to stop writing, or your GMAT score?
Okay, awesome. Thank you very much, Adebola. So is that for Adedoyin? I think that was actually for Adedoyin, right?
Yeah, anyone can answer.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I can go first. Well, I think I mentioned before, like when I decided to do the MBA, there was someone I spoke with. So she's a friend, she's a sister, she's a consultant, an MBA consultant, Titan Har. So, and the first thing she told me was, we need to start early. And I want you to get waivers for all the school. You are not paying any application fee. I was like, is that possible? But she actually proved to me. So we started work really early. And what did I do? I didn't do anything extra, really. I just signed up for their webinars, I signed up for webinars, I attended webinars, and I just noticed that after attending webinars, they'll just send me a mail that for attending so-and-so webinar, you have this waiver. I guess the only one didn't get that I did something different from was Dadding. I was able to submit the diversity conference essay. So, and immediately after that, they gave me the waiver. Then also, WP Carry was proving very difficult to give me a waiver. I sent them a mail. They said, no, they don't give waivers and all that. But later, shortly before I submitted my application, they sent me an application fee waiver as well. Then Georgia Terry doesn't give waivers. But I attended one lane webinar where they invited Cara Sonia or something. Yeah, Cara. So, and laners were like, I think it was Samuel. It was like, you have to give us waivers, you have to give us waivers. And she was being, adamant about it. But, before the end of the webinar, she was like, okay, everybody that is here, you're going to get an application fee webinar from Georgia Terry. So I never paid one kobo to apply to any of those 9 schools. In fact, it was supposed to be 10 schools. One was so bent on not giving me. I was just like, don't worry, I don't need your school. I already have 9 schools that gave me. So that was what I did. I just started early, registered for their webinars. Even like if you attend for conferences, there were some conferences that I attended. Was this Center Court or something? They also gave webinars for attending those. They also gave waivers for attending those webinars. So that was just what I did. I think I answered the question. Is that how?
Yes, you did.
Okay, yes, she asked about GRE. Yeah, I did my GRE. The first GRE I did, I had a 314. And I was like, okay, I can do better. Let me try again. So I did another GRE 2 months after. I even had the lower score. So I said, okay, no problem. Let me just go ahead with what I have. So I basically just used my, because I didn't get better. In fact, I did worse. So I was like, let me just go ahead with the first GRE score I had. And funny enough, it helped me. So I think another thing that really helped me was that not because my GRE score was fantastic, it wasn't fantastic. When I wanted to start, I was projecting 330, 320 something. This is what I'm going to have. This is what I'm going to have. But when the realities of life hits me, and I just had what I had, I think starting early helped me as well because I still had competitive offers. So.
Okay, so sorry, let me just quickly buttress on that. You can get application fee waivers. That is just as easy as, or let me say it is prompt. You can just sign up, get the schools that you want to go to, try to attend their webinars. Make sure you have a calendar where you jot down their webinars. I also applied to about 7 schools and I got waivers for all of them. I didn't pay a dime. I don't even have that money to pay for school for waivers. So you can get it. Make sure you attend the groups you need to attend when these schools will have their webinars.
I think we lost Abimbola.
Okay, can I say something about the GMAT, Ramdi?
Yes, please.
Okay, so I did the GMAT, I did the GRE, and my first GMAT scored about 540. By the time I finished writing the GMAT, I ended up at 700. So I wrote GMAT 4 times. But I applied with 6, yes. I applied with 680, which was my second GMAT score, actually. And then I remember the day I got 680, I freaked out. I was so sad. I was like, God, I can't do this. Anyway, but then it was so close to when I was my round 1 deadlines. I was under GMAT after 3 weeks. I scored 660. And then I just moved on. And then I applied with the 680. And I continued studying for GMAT, thinking that if I don't get in round 1, I want to be prepared for round 2. But by the time I was writing my 4th GMAT, I didn't be sure. So I just dropped in the exam. Okay, I'm joking. But my point is that you need to know when to stop, actually. And one thing I learned is the GMAT is one part of your application. That thing is really true. Consider your entire application in entirety. I, for example, now I had a very high quant score. I was scoring 47, 48 in quant. My verbal was not very, it was not high. Anyway, so I can't convince myself my essays were good. I had a good what's this thing called, resume and all that. So I'll say trust the process, consider other things in your application that you can strengthen. If you've tried and it's not moving forward, like the scores are not moving to the difference in the score is not a lot, look at other things in your application that you can improve upon. And then another thing I'll say again is that change your strategy. I had to actually buy advanced books. I like for the verbal, for example, I used LSAT. LSAT is what lawyers use for their exams, and it's harder than GMAT. But I had to read LSAT. I had to learn like advanced calculus, not calculus, algebra, advanced number properties, all that to get my scores to that level. But do what you need to do, but also know when to stop. Actually, it's very important.
Before Abibola quickly jumps on, I just wanted to say that Omotayo actually has a YouTube channel where she actually does share a lot of tips around her GMAT, MBA admissions experience, tips around it, what helped her. So I think Tayo, please help us to drop it in the comment section, because I know people are gonna be very, very interested in watching your videos. So I think, is Abimbola back? Abimbola?
Okay. Hello. So yes, I'm back.
Okay. So
Yeah, I think I stopped there before my laptop went
okay,
away.
so that's cool. Fantastic. Thank you very much. So I don't know who the person iPhone, but I don't know the person's name. Please, can you go off mute and please ask your question? Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Please, can you introduce yourself?
Okay, my name is Anwar Negai. I don't know if I'm allowed to ask questions as a guy.
Oh, yes, you are. Yes, you are.
All right. So, good evening. My name is Anu once again. So, my question is about relates to work experience before applying and the quality of the work experience. Now, currently, I work with the government, right? And I've been concerned about the kind of story to tell and kind of story to sell as regards how much or what kind of things you've done. So I'm really curious about how, because I think Omotayo she said she works in government broadcasting company. I'm not sure if I heard that correct. But also I want to find out about that and about things like volunteering work they did before, if they did anything like that. And yeah, basically this is my question. Just about quality of work experience we had before we applied, the kind of things we do.
Hello?
Yes, hi. Abimbola, do you want to take that?
Yes, I don't know if it's Omotayo, is it
I think
he
it
or
was
she?
actually for you. I think it was for you, actually. So I think it was
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so I'm the one that worked with the federal government. Yes, when I started, it looked that way as well. I felt, what am I doing that is, federal government job? It looks so like, what are you doing? Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know if that is how it looks like in your own place. Like you're working below your capacity, sort of, or let me say your brain capacity. Yes, you're just working at that level, and you feel, how am I contributing to this thing? But really, you are really contributing. I can say that again and again. Look at that role that you are in. If you feel you are not doing enough, maybe you need to Google that role and see what you were supposed to be doing, or what you should be doing that you're not doing, or what people in that role are doing. Google it up. It could be in another format or in another way. For example, in my own corporation, we call it a radio producer. But check online, you might not see a radio producer. You will see content strategist, content manager. You see a whole lot of names. So Google your role, check another name for this role. You will see a whole lot of things that you should be doing. Probably you are not, maybe because you are short of supply or short of stuff or whatsoever that are not doing. So just include it. Then in your resume, forget about fine-tuning your resume yourself. You cannot do that job yourself. You need some experts to help you in in getting you at the pace where that role's supposed to be, at that pace where that role's supposed to be. You need someone to help you fine tune it at that level. So just jot down your roles, jot down what you do presently. What are the things that you do? Now for the other things that you talk about, maybe like volunteering, actually, aside my own job, I have another business that I do. I don't know if that works for you as well. And I brought it in because it is my own thing and I have been able to learn from it. So I brought in my business into it. I brought what I've been able to do due to that, my business, what I've been able to achieve on that business, or let me say on that role. Bring it into it if you have it. It might look so small to you. It looks so like, is it not just running errands? It could be running errands for people, as little as that. It could be as so little as what you would think it's nothing. Please bring it in. Bring it in. You can share it with people. People will help you fine tune it. It is a role that has an official title. That's just the truth. Look at logistics. I don't know. Logistics now. There was a time logistics was just an office manager or something. I don't know. There was a particular downgrading role for logistics manager. Yes. So there is a particular role. There is a supposed name that role is called. Don't underplay that role. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Abimbola. Daisy, you can wait. Tayo, did you want to jump on? Sorry, who's that? Sorry, who's that?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
So I wanted to ask more questions.
Sorry. It's
One
who
last
is?
question.
Sorry. Can you drop your comments in the, because I can't hear you, and so if you have any other question, I can read it out to the panelists actually for you, because I can't hear you. Tayo, please, can you jump on?
Yes, I see something about what Bimbo said. So I have a resume. I did my resume myself. One thing I did, and I learned it from Jim Art Club, was that most of these schools have something they call a resume book. It's called a resume book. So what a resume book looks like is that they put the resumes of all the successful candidates in that book and send it to recruiters. Now, most times you'll be able to find past resume books online. I found for a number of schools. And basically what you just do is that you open the resume book in PDF and you just search for your role. So if I'm, like me, investment banker, I just search for investment banker. And I found all the investment or people that had investment banking experience. So you would have seen the way, the way they coined words. You'd have seen how they express their experience. Just basically use the same technologies, and that's how one way you can help. Another thing for me too, I search for people that work in big four companies as well. People that did audits that I did as well. I know I'm in Nigeria and my experience, I may not know how to word my experience in the appropriate way, but these are successful people. And it actually also helps with looking at your profile. When you get a resume book, you can see people that have similar profiles to yours. You can see what they add in their profile that maybe was the tipping point in getting them admitted. So I'll say look into resume books. They are very important.
Thank you very much, Tayo. Daisy, I think you can go off mute and ask your question. So that's the last question that we're taking.
Okay, hi guys. So this is Daisy, and it was a very nice session. Thank you very much. I have a question for the people who've been admitted in the panelists. So you've mentioned that some of your tuition was covered. What happens to, let's say, your living expenses? Do you have a place where you're getting those funds from, or is it from your own savings? And then also for the Forte Foundation, are they able to support for the living expenses? Because that's something that I am looking to sort of figure out, because I already got my admission. But then before I commit financially, like with a down payment, I feel like I need to first understand how I can support myself when I'm there, let's say for 1 year. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, thank you very much. So who wants to take this one? So
I just give student loans and some savings.
Student loans plus savings.
Yeah, I
Abimbola.
got 40 for another school bus.
Sorry, Tayo. No, just a question to follow up with what you've said, because I spoke with Prodigy and Prodigy said they don't support living expenses.
I use Discover. I didn't know use Prodigy, so sorry.
Okay,
I can't speak to that.
Okay, I think, okay, sorry. On loans, okay, I for one, I did not have to take a loan, but people who took loan, I don't think you don't really need to specify if it is living expenses or something. In fact, there is a particular amount you will need to take. It got to a point that I was also thinking of taking a loan, so I had to register on that Prodigy. I told them I needed just $10,000. Said no, the least you can take is $15,000. And I don't think they asked for living expenses or something. No, I couldn't see anything of such. So if you need a loan, you need a loan. They'll just ask you for all the things, the requirements, and they'll tell you this is the list you can take. You would need to take it. You take it. If you don't need to. But if you really need a living expense, it is just an overall loan. So you just pick, okay, this is the amount from this amount, maybe the $15,000. That's the amount that you can take, because they will ask you for your scholarship letter, ask you for any kind of scholarship that you had or the school is giving to you. So how much you need and all that. So for me, who has almost everything, I had almost everything. Okay, living expenses was not covered, yet I was told that I needed $15,000. So you just have to go for it. Go for a loan.
Thank you very much, ladies. So I just wanted to add to what Omotayo and Abimbola already said about taking loans for living expenses. I know that Prodigy actually does give loans to people that actually got full tuition to cover the rest of their cost of attendance. I know it's only Lendwise in the UK that doesn't do that, but I know that people are able to access loans for their entire cost of attendance. So they don't separate it between tuition and living expenses, because it is part of your cost of attendance that the school actually does say that you need per year or per semester for your MBA. So that's something that you might also want to discuss with them as well. So instead of saying living expenses, just tell them that it's part of your cost of attendance. And they generally give people loans, especially people that have tuition really covered via scholarship or anything else. And I know that they are giving people loans. They're still giving people loans because a lot of people have actually gotten loans. Most people in the US actually took Discover loans. I think that's more popular for people in the US because Discover also has this option or partnership with certain schools where you don't need a co-signer. So that's one advantage of using Discover in certain schools that have partnerships with them. But that's also something that you might have to look at as well. Maybe ask your school if they have some sort of partnerships with any of the loan companies. If not, but I know that Prodigy actually does give for your cost of attendance, but it's not limited to your tuition.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Daisy. Congratulations. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you so much for staying with us. Thank you for listening to our panelists. Thank you so much, our panelists, Omotayo, Abimbola, and Adedoyin, for your time, for your nuggets, for your tips, for everything you shared tonight about your experience, your MBA journey, and what you would want other women to really know on their journey ahead into business school as well, and also their career path as well. Also telling us that you should not be limited by your gender. You shouldn't be limited by your aspirations. If you're single, there are always opportunities out there. Omotayo, let's not talk, but I'm sure you still get that on your YouTube channel, but yeah. Yes, and also as a parent, as a mother, as a wife, you are not limited when you're actually going on this journey. And I am so happy to have even been on this panel session with them, to have been able to talk to them about this, because I feel like I feel like we don't hear this often, right? People don't really tell you all of these things. And these are people that have taken out their time to share so much with you. And it's not only useful for women as well, it's useful for men as well, because at the end of the day, we are all going to be parents, we're all going to raise kids, and we also want ambition for them. So these women have done amazing stuff. And please, before you go, you just need to use your reaction and just clap for them, because if you did not take away anything from this session, as in, I'll be very, very disappointed. Like, they deserve all the claps. They deserve